Sometimes you pray and nothing happens. You cry, you fast, you believe, you even stop sinning. But the heavens stay silent. And it hurts. It makes you wonder if God is angry or if he forgot you. But the truth is deeper. God is not ignoring you. He's not sleeping. And he's definitely not powerless. The silence of God is never the absence of God. Just because you don't hear him doesn't mean he's not working. So why doesn't he answer some prayers, even when you're doing everything right? First, let's admit something. Unanswered prayer can break a person. It can shake your faith. It can make you question everything you believe. Some people even stop praying altogether. They say, "What's the point?" But what if the delay is not rejection? What if the silence is preparation? In John 11, Mary and Martha sent a message to Jesus. Their brother Lazarus was sick. They loved Jesus. They supported his ministry. They believed. But Jesus didn't show up. He stayed where he was, and Lazarus died. Imagine how that felt. You trusted Jesus. You told him your need, and the answer didn't come. But when Jesus finally arrived, he didn't apologize. He didn't say, "I'm sorry I was late." He said something powerful. "I am the resurrection and the life." Then he raised Lazarus from the dead. Sometimes God waits until it's completely impossible, so when the miracle happens, there is no doubt it was him. But let's be honest, not all prayers are answered later. Some feel like they are never answered at all. A woman prays for a child for years and never gets pregnant. A man prays for his mother to be healed, and she still dies. A pastor prays for his church to grow, and it remains small. Why? What did they do wrong? In the book of 2 Corinthians, Paul, the great apostle, talked about a thorn in his flesh. He said he prayed 3 times for God to remove it, and God didn't. Instead, God said, "My grace is sufficient for you. My strength is made perfect in weakness." That means some prayers are not answered because the struggle itself is doing a deeper work in you. God wasn't being cruel to Paul. He was building humility, patience, dependence. God doesn't just want to fix your situation, he wants to form your character. Sometimes God delays answers because we are praying from the wrong motive. James 4:3 says, "You ask and do, not receive, because you ask amiss, that you may spend it on your pleasures." That means God hears your words, but he also sees your heart. Some people pray for money, but it's not because they want to bless others, it's because they want to show off. Others pray for promotion, not to serve more, but to control people. And God, in his love, says no. Not because he hates you, but because he refuses to fund your destruction. God is a father, a real father. If a child asks for poison thinking it's candy, no loving father will say yes. In the same way, God sometimes says no, not to punish, but to protect. There are also times when God delays because he's teaching you to grow up spiritually. Babies cry and someone feeds them, but mature people learn to wait, to trust, and to walk by faith, not just feelings. Hebrews 11 says, "Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." That means you don't always feel it. You don't always see it. But you still believe. That's what pleases God. And the deeper your faith grows, the less you depend on signs, feelings, or fast results. God is building strength in you, not just giving blessings to you. A good teacher doesn't always give answers during the test, but they are still in the room. In the same way, when your life feels like a silent exam, know this. The teacher is still there, watching, waiting, helping you become stronger. Another reason God doesn't answer some prayers is timing. Not every no is a denial. Some are just not yet. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven." God lives outside time, but he works within it for us. A blessing too early can be dangerous. Imagine giving a 10-year-old the keys to a car. It would be deadly. They're not ready. In the same way, some prayers aren't answered yet because the timing is not right. God knows things you don't. He sees the future, and sometimes He's preparing the situation or preparing you. You're praying for a door to open, but behind the scenes, He's still building the room. Trust His timing. He's never late. He's always perfect. Let's also remember that prayer is not just about getting things. It's about becoming someone. It's not a transaction. It's a relationship. Some people only talk to God when they need something. But what kind of relationship is that? Imagine having a friend who only calls when they want money. That's not love. That's use. And many Christians treat God that way. But the real power of prayer is not just in getting answers. It's in becoming close to the one who holds the answers. Philippians 3:10 says, that I may know Him. Not just know His power, not just know His blessings, but know Him. Prayer builds intimacy, not just results. And sometimes God allows silence to draw you closer. When everything is going well, some people forget God. But when He seems far, you start searching. You press in, you cry, you seek. And in that desperation, your love grows, your trust deepens, and your heart begins to beat like His. That's not failure. That's formation. God is not a vending machine. He's not a genie. He's your Father, your Creator, your King. And He longs for your heart, not just your wish list. But here's the real question. What do you do when God doesn't answer? Do you quit? Do you stop praying? Or do you trust Him anyway? Job lost everything. His children, his money, his health, his friends turned on him. But he said something powerful. Though He slay me, yet will I trust Him. That's real faith. Not faith in results. Faith in God, even when you don't understand, even when it hurts. Because you know who He is. He's good, He's wise, and He loves you more than you can imagine. Even Jesus faced unanswered prayer. In the Garden of Gethsemane, He cried out, Father, if it is possible, take this cup from me. He was asking not to go to the cross, and the Father said no, not because He didn't love Jesus, but because there was a greater plan. The salvation of the world, your salvation, my salvation. If God said no to His own Son to accomplish a greater purpose, then we can trust Him when He says no to us, because that no might be part of someone else's salvation, someone else's healing, someone else's destiny. Now don't misunderstand. God does answer prayers every day, millions of them. He heals, He provides, He rescues, He restores. But when He doesn't, we don't run away, we run to Him. Because the goal is not just getting our way, the goal is becoming like Jesus. And Jesus didn't always get His way, but He always trusted the Father. So, if you're in a season where prayers feel unanswered, don't give up. Don't stop. Don't let silence convince you that God is not listening. He hears, He sees, He knows. And He's working, sometimes behind the scenes, sometimes inside your heart, sometimes on a level you can't even imagine. Keep trusting, keep praying, keep believing. Because in the right time, in the right way, for the right purpose, He will answer. And even if the answer is no or not yet, or something completely unexpected, you can rest knowing it came from a perfect Father who never fails. This is your moment. Go back to prayer, not for stuff, but for relationship. Ask, again, not out of fear, but out of faith. Cry if you must, wait if you must, but trust always. Because even when God seems silent, He is still speaking. Even when He says no, He is still good. And even when He doesn't answer, He is still worthy. Watch this video again when your faith is shaking. Share it with someone who's on the edge of giving up.